Beautiful jellyfish, it's Tracy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And today I'm going to be doing a video on my ladies deck tech, and I believe I've only done one of these videos on my channel before. I think I did it, man, it's been years. I think it's been like 2 years or so, and the deck has basically been reformatted and like not reformatted, I don't know, like I've redone the deck basically, and pretty much this is just a really fun casual deck, to be honest. It's not extremely powerful, though it can be. It's just really fun, and this is like my third time taking the deck apart and rebuilding it, but it is here to stay. Silver Queen is the commander. It is ladies themed. The deck is called Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, which is pretty hilarious. The deck will be listed in the down bar below, so if you want to check it out, you can definitely do that. And let's just hop into it. So let's start first talking about the mana base. My mana base is it's pretty cool. I like it because I got a lot of the fetches and shocks, so I have all 10 shock lands, which is really exciting. So I have them all. And then I only have 6 of the fetch lands. Obviously this is like a goal to like get all of them, and I just think it's funny how like I have a Scalding Tarn, but I don't have some of the other ones that are like cheaper. Hold up, I think these are all the cheaper ones, right? And then the others are more expensive. Anyways, I need to get that, and the more of the enemy ones, I just don't own them, so that's obviously a goal, but that will happen, you know, at some point. And then for some reason, I don't know why, but I only own 4 of these. I think the 5th one is somewhere in some deck, I don't know, but I have these, I don't know what these are called, the Buddy Lands or something, I'm not sure. I might get the Tri-Lands and replace them with these, I'm not 100% sure, so with that being said though, I still do really like these. Yeah, the other one is definitely in a deck because I have the playset of like the time-stamped ones. Except for this one's not time-stamped and this one's not time-stamped. They're in decks, I have no idea. Anyways, and now we have basics. So I just have 1 swamp, 2 islands, 3 mountains, which I actually need to count one of these and make it an actual plains, and 3 forests. And also I know my composition for these is a little bit jank. This is the ultimate goal. We just haven't gotten there. And then for the other lands, I first run Bajuka Bug, which is why I only run 1 swamp. Classic, run this card in all my black decks. I next have Command Tower, which is just totally a given. Love this card. The next card I have is Mana Confluence. This card jumped up in price, which is really interesting. This might be a card that possibly like comes out at some point, because I only have the 4 of the, I only have 4 of these lands, so I might take this out and then put one of those in, I'm not sure, and put this in something else, because this card's pretty expensive, which is kind of crazy. And then I have Opal Palace. This is another card that might come out just because, and replaced with something else, just because I really need the color. I'm not really into having the colorless stuff. I really need, you know, I need the color since it's a 5-color deck, so. That's the mana base. I believe I run 35 lands. Let me just double check. I pretty much always run 35 lands. That's kind of like my sweet spot. Yeah, that's like my sweet spot. I truthfully don't think I run any more, any less than that, even in my Almath deck, which might not be the best decision, but here we are. Okay, let's talk about enchantments. I only run 2. The first one I run is Mirara's Wake, and yeah, this card is just really, really strong. I don't think there's a whole lot to say there, but yeah. And then I run, I'm just going to show you Pestermite as one of the creatures with this because I run the enchantment Splinter Twin. This is the only infinite combo in the deck, and I very rarely run infinite combos. This is not something that I actively strive to do in every single game of Magic. This is just something that I do on the occasion if I'm in a desperate situation where the only way I can win is by comboing out. This is not something that I avidly tutor for or anything like that, but I do have the cards in there, and I do, you know, have that combo, and I do, you know, pull that off on occasion. I run 3 Planeswalkers in the deck. The first is, I mean, honestly, like, would it be a white deck if I didn't run Elspeth Sun's Champion? She's my favorite Planeswalker, in case you're new here. And yeah, I love Elspeth Sun's Champion so much. And she's like the best Planeswalker at protecting herself. Her +3 is really good. She's a mini board wipe in 1 with her -3. And giving all my stuff +2/+2 and flying, giving all those tokens that I make with Silver Queen. Yeah, seems pretty good. And then I also run Tamiyo Field Researcher. This was actually a gift from one of my friends and subscribers, Matt. And yeah, I love Tamiyo. I think she's super awesome. I don't draw her a lot, which is like kind of a bummer, but anyways, she's like real strong. And then I also run Vraska Golgari Queen. Yeah, I just thought like her -9, well, I really like her in this deck in particular because her +2 and her -9 work really well with like making tokens with Silver Queen, so that was kind of like my whole thought process behind that. Yeah. Okay. instants. So the first one I run is Brainstorm because, you know, it's got a lady on the art, which I thought was like really fitting. I tried to do that like with a lot of the cards. Some of them are not as on flavor as they could be, but Brainstorm definitely fits. I love drawing cards. Then I have Dissolve because, again, lady art and it's counterspell. I also have Sylvan Scrying in here. I just wanted to make sure that I had like the fixings and stuff in this deck, and this card definitely helps get me there. And the last instant that I run is Path to Exile. The removal is actually kind of light in this deck, which is pretty interesting for me. I have a decent amount in my enchantment, in my sorceries, but yeah, I actually, like, I don't have, do I have the other card? I don't have Swords to Plowshare. That's actually really interesting. I think I just don't have an extra one, is honestly, like, I have an extra path, but I don't have an extra swords, which is really interesting. I should fix that. Okay, now let's talk about in sorceries. So the first one I run is Akroma's Vengeance. This is classic. It's got lady art on it, too, which is like super, you know. The next sorcery I run is Beseech the Queen. I really like this card. I don't think a lot of people know what this card does, and this card's also in Japanese, but it says you tutor for a card based on the amount of swamps. And then I run Conflicts because when you're running a 5-color deck, you kind of need to run Conflicts because it tutors for everything. And then I run Curse of the Swine. This card seemed to really fit with the theme. I honestly feel like I could really put anything here, any sort of removal spell, but I like how it has lady art on it, and I just love this card so much. And then I run Farseek. Absolutely love this card. I like how it enters the battlefield tapped, and I can basically get anything, and I have all the fetches, so I can all the shocks, so I can get basically anything that I need with this card, which is really good. I run Hour of Revelation, which is one of my favorite board wipes. I liked it because it can destroy everything, all non-land permanents, for 3 mana. You don't ever, I think I've paid for the 6 mana like one time when I was desperate, but. And the last one I run is Supreme Verdict. Classic board wipe, can't be countered. Great card. Okay, let's hop into talking about the artifacts. So the first thing I run is I run all of these signets. Pretty classic, not a whole lot to say there, but I do run all of the signets. All 10 of them. And then for other artifacts, the first one I run is Chromatic Lantern. Pretty straightforward, you know, it's something that adds any color into my pool, which is really good. I also run Commander's Sphere. I love this card because it adds any color into your pool, and it gets you to draw a card if you need to, which I love. I'm going to talk about these cards together because they're very similar. I have Lightning Greaves, and then I also have Swiftfoot Boots. This is super good. I run these and pretty much just equip them with Silver Queen, but there have been times where I have targeted my creatures just in case Silver Queen is not out, so, or I want to give something haste, you know. Perilous Vault, because this is my favorite board wipe in the whole game. Soul Ring. And I run Thought Vessel. I don't have like a ton of card draw in this deck, so it's not like this is super needed. This might actually be replaced with an Arcane Signet now that I'm actually thinking about it. I just need to pick that up. So yeah, there definitely still are tweaks that I want to make in this deck. It definitely still functions, but there definitely are things that I want to make. Let's hop into talking about, in my opinion, the best part about the deck, and that is the creatures. The first one I run is Anafenza. One thing that I really like about this deck is that the creatures kind of do a variety of different things, and Anafenza is a perfect example of getting the chance to remove creature cards from my opponent's graveyard. It exiles, and you can put a +1/+1 counter on another tapped creature you control, so she kind of does a lot of different things. I really like her. It doesn't come into play in every sort of game. Sometimes it is not relevant, but I still do really like having her, and even for her first ability. I run Courser of Kruphix, which is really good. I run this card in like all my green decks. This is like one of my favorite cards, to be honest, of all time, and it gains me life, which I really like. I don't have a lot of life gain in this deck, so. Then I have Den Protector. I love Den Protector so much. I get so much, like, not flack for this card, but I get a lot of like, oh yep, it's a morph that's Den Protector, and, you know, it is a Den Protector because this card's awesome. Yeah. I have Drana, Liberator of Malakir. I feel like I said that wrong, but anyways, she's pretty cool. We had a lot of extra copies of this back when Paul played Standard in BFZ, and we just opened a lot of BFZ, like a lot. And so anyways, we had a lot of these cards laying around, and this card's pretty cheap, but we had them laying around, so I just decided to put it in here. I don't think I've ever actually drawn her, so I don't know how she performs in this deck, but I can imagine that she'd be really good because she gets to pump everything. She seems kind of harder to block with her evasion of flying in first strike, so. Then I run Elvish Visionary because, you know, I love drawing cards. And speaking of drawing cards, I have Afara, God of the Police, as I call her. And I really love Afara. My favorite thing to honestly really do with her is that you play her and then you have a token with Silver Queen that you just make on everyone's turn. And then you're able to just draw cards. So that's like my favorite little combo, and this is like one of the best draw engines that I have in the deck. The next card I have is Fate Spinner, and actually funny story about this card, I actually had this card in my original ladies list, I believe, and she's like really good. It only affects opponents, which I think is really incredible, and they either skip draw, main, or combat, so you're going to be basically putting them in a not great position. She's just a really good, like, versatile card. I really enjoy her. Then I have Frilled Mystic and Mystic Snake. I don't actually know if Mystic Snake is a lady. I think it's a dude, I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, let me know in the comments below. Anyways, these cards are really good, I like them a lot. It's a little bit sometimes challenging to cast, Frilled Mystic in particular, because it is double and double, but honestly, the green is not a problem, it would more so be the blue. Just because I run a lot, green and white are like the two prominent colors, it probably goes like green, white, black, blue, red is I think the order of how I have them in the deck in terms of like how much mana symbols I have. But nevertheless, I do really enjoy both of these cards. I next run Joiner Adept, and I really enjoy this card because I'm able to kind of have a chromatic lantern on a stick sort of thing. Really enjoy her a lot. Then I have Karmic Guide, just for like a little bit of graveyard recursion, got a little bit of flying in here. The deck doesn't have like a whole ton of flying, so I do like this card. Then I run Night of Autumn. I love this card so much. She's like one of my favorite cards of all time because she has this flexibility. The main thing that I use her for is to destroy target artifact or enchantment, but honestly, I have definitely used the other modes before when I've been in situations. Then I run Marin. The reason I ran Marin is just because we actually had an extra one because we got the Secret Lair, and we had an extra one, so I decided, you know what, let me throw her in this deck. So I actually don't know how she performs at all. She's very, very new to the deck, but nonetheless, Marin's a really good card. I never know how to say her name. I think it's Mariki. I love her. I think she's really good, and I'm actually going to talk about a card that's pretty similar, which is Rubinia Soul Singer, and I really love both of these cards a lot. They do sort of the same thing. Rubina is a little bit more mana, and Rubina has the option to choose to untap her, whereas she does not untap. But if she leaves play or becomes untapped, you destroy that creature, and it can't be regenerated. So they both kind of do very similar things. I just like running both. I think both are really good, and I like being able to just take control of my opponent's things. Then we have Najila, the Blade Blossom, probably one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. She's really, really good, and honestly, I don't really think I have like any other warriors in this deck. I might have like a couple, but honestly, even just for the, you know, her being a warrior, this card's still really good to run, and then for her ability to give everything trample, lifelink, and haste is really good. I haven't drawn her, which is like a huge bummer because she's so good. Then I run Noble Hierarch. This was just kind of because we had an extra one laying around. I think it's funny when we have like extra really expensive cards laying around, but we just literally happen to have this card laying around from our modern days. When we opened this up in the box, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the Exalted is honestly not as prevalent just because I do have a lot of creatures, but it's more so for the mana acceleration, to be honest. Then I run Saskia the Unyielding. She's one of my favorite ladies, to be honest, and she's, I think, very like an underrated card. I think maybe just because of the mana, the 4-color CMC, I'm not really too sure, but she's really good. She basically doubles damage for that player, which is really good, and she's got Vigilance and Haste, so you can very easily kill someone very quickly with this card. And then I run one of my favorite ladies, come on, Sidisi Undead Visor, however you say it. She's incredible. She tutors, you basically tutor for, you basically make a token with her and then you exploit the token. I have exploited her though before. Sometimes I've been really desperate and I need to tutor for anything that you really need. I have Sisay, Weatherlight Captain. I do need to grab the other Sisay in this deck. I think I have enough legendaries to make it worth it. I'd actually have to do the math, but I'm pretty sure I have like enough legendaries that really make it worthwhile. But anyways, you can tutor with her, which is really good. I've never drawn her, so I can imagine that she's incredible, but I just haven't drawn her. Then I run Soul Warden just for, you know, a little bit of life gain, and you make a lot of tokens, so you can definitely get a lot life out of that. Then I have Tatiova. Here I am saying I don't have a lot of life gain. I feel like I've talked about 5 cards out of life gain. She's one of my favorite cards. I talked about her in one of my budget cards, I believe, recently, and she's just incredible. You know, she gains you life, she draws you cards, she's a 3/3. All around, this is like one of my favorite cards. I love her. The next card I run is Teysa Karlov, and she works so incredibly well with Silver Queen. The death trigger thing is not really prevalent, like I don't think at all. I don't think I have any death triggers, but I mainly do it because then they have Vigilance and Lifelink, which is so incredibly good, so that's the main thing. And then I run Teysa, Envoy of Ghosts. Teysa, Envoy of Ghosts is one of my favorite creatures and has been in like the original lists. She's so good. You know, she's got pro creatures and vigilance, so she, you know, gets in pretty much no problem. And then whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, you destroy it and then put a 1/1. So it kind of puts up a sort of barricade, which I really enjoy. Then I have Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. I actually just got this card. This is my favorite art, the one with like all the feathers and stuff around. Oh god, I love this art so much. I'll honestly like all the art, but this one is my favorite. So yeah, just a little bit of like a Death and Taxes type card. Again, a lot of my creatures do very different sorts of things, which I actually really enjoy. And then I also run Thalia, the other Thalia, Heretic Cather, and I really enjoy her. Again, sort of like Death and Taxes type card. I like running both. Thassa, God of the Sea. Absolutely. This card's really good. I always truthfully forget to scribe with this card, and that's something that I struggle with a little bit, but giving something unblockable is really good. Thassa's just one of my favorite cards. And then we have Tireless Tracker. Oh, love Tireless Tracker. This card is so good. Getting the chance to investigate is incredible, getting the chance to draw cards, and pumping Tireless Tracker is all around an amazing card. Then we have Wood Elves, which I really like. I like how it says forest, and you do not have to put it into play tap, so it just enters the battlefield. So you can get a Shockland with this, which is so good, and then you can choose to tap with it, which is great. And then I also have the last creature is Yavimaya Dryad, and I love this card. You can be political with this card. You can give someone a forest. I never do, but you can if you want to, and it's got Forest Walk, so it can definitely get in there, especially at early stages of the game. You tutor for a forest, you put it on the tapped under target player's control. Again, you mainly do yourself, and then you get that. So you get a forest, which is good, and again, you can get a Shockland as well, which is incredibly good because it does not say basic, so. Alright, y'all, that is everything for this deck tech on my Silver Queen Ladies Tribal deck. This deck is super fun. It's not incredibly powerful, but it definitely can be. It can definitely just randomly do really crazy and wild things, but sometimes it's just pretty underwhelming, and honestly, that's totally okay with me. It's just really like a fun deck, and I really enjoy it. So I hope you guys like this video. Check it out in the down below if you want to see the deck list in full and see how much it costs. I have a lot of foils in here, so it's like kind of like Nagila's like an $83 foil, so you know, it's like some of the foils are just like a little bit crazy that kind of jack up the price. But if you're interested in building Lady Tribal, you can definitely do it. There's a lot of really good like budget cards, like a card like this. This card foil is like $1, so yeah, I think that's everything. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.